What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mad Pig and Matt here with yet another DevPro video. And in today's video, the deck in question is yet another in my How to Lose Friends in Yu-Gi-Oh! Series where I showcase troll decks to make your locals hate you. And my deck today most certainly will do that, because this is actually an updated pile of cards that I used way back in September 2011. Oh, my god. This strategy I've been doing something with for nearly 10 years now. My god. Hey, why don't you ask Ant-Man816 about this one, because after 10 years he still remembers and hates this strategy. But I digress. What I actually have here is yet an updated version of something that I actually used sometime around last year during what we'll occasionally do at my local, known as a fun deck day, wherein everybody played like a tier 2 or lower strategy that was just, you know, a weird deck that normally wouldn't do good, but since nobody was playing meta that day, everything had a fair shot, and I actually got top 4, maybe top 2, I don't 100% remember, but I absolutely ruined a bunch of people's days with this stack of cardboard. And if you're curious about how long ago this was, Prinkratops was still at 3. So yeah, let me quit with all my BSing and show you yet another way to lose friends in Yu-Gi-Oh! With Ameba. What the hell is Ameba? Well, put it simply, Ameba is a level 1 aqua water monster with 300 attack and 350 defense that has the effect that when the control of this face-up card shifts to your opponent, inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent's life points. This effect can only be used once as long as this card remains face-up on the field. I don't know what Konami was hoping to attempt with this card, but long story short, the strategy is real simple. You play this guy, you play one of these cards right here to give him to your opponent, and you smash him with big Nambar. But like, meh. Not everybody like is playing super big monsters. Or what if they play a bunch of monsters? Well, that's when we get into the core of the deck, which is pretty much the staple of all the How to Lose Friends in Yu-Gi-Oh! Tropes, Kaijus, and Mystic Mind. So, let's kind of get through the deck profile, and I'll explain everything as we go along. Start out, the core of the deck, the meat of the matter, 3 copies of Ameba. Like I said, deck's namesake, and he's kind of essentially most of your win con. There are other ways to get around it, using the next set of cards, triple Xian Spy and triple Creature Swap. Most simply, these are to give your opponent Ameba, but more often than not, Creature Swap kind of does the majority of the heavy lifting, because if used correctly, you can steal something your opponent definitely did not want you to get hold of. Also, it doesn't target, so that's real good. Xian Spy here is just a worse Creature Swap because it's you give your opponent a monster, and then you take it back at the end phase. But in the process of explaining how do you get big number to punch Ameba, well, you do it with Kaijus. More specifically, triple Jizakuru, 3 of the Thunder King, and 2 of the Gandarla, with the 3 interrupted Kaiju Slumber. And for those wondering, why do you play Gandarla? Because I had a duel where I was being barrier statue locked, and I don't like that. So to combat that, I just doubled up on this guy. That's it. So yeah, that's the core of the OTK, because quite simply you can just kind of put Ameba, Kaiju your opponent's monster, switch this with the Kaiju, and then punch. So yeah. Afterwards, there's I just try one Reborn, one Feather Duster, and one Red Reboot as kind of your Oboe Jankies buttons. Because, you know, this gets rid of everything and this saves you. I follow that up with 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs because she's the best generic hand trap that stops the widest variety of decks. And then triple Battle Fader because he's a level 1 monster with no attack that if you creature swap, you can just punch him and deal massive damage. Afterwards I played triple Pot of Extravagance because I don't care about my extra deck. Triple Mystic Mine because this card is dumb and should not be allowed. 3 Demise of the Land to cheat this out, even though it absolutely does nothing 95% of the time. And then 2 copies of Where Art Thou to try to search Ameba to get through to things. For the extra deck, I played just the Starving Venom, the Entisses, the Mud Dragons, and then the best Link 1 monsters in the game. Relinquish Anima here actually being legitimately fantastic because you can kaiju your opponent in his column and then make him off of Ameba or a Battle Fader and then proceed to suck up the kaiju. And the Entisses are in here actually because of the side deck Dogmatic of Punishment because you don't use your extra deck anyway, so this is a fantastic card to side in game 2 or 3 with extra back row hate as a means of answering a lot of things. Same thing with DD Crow, who also happens to be able to turn into all these guys. So yeah, that's the deck profile. So I'm going to show you guys like some replays. So the first one is how it's actually supposed to work. Here we go. So I think this was actually a game 3 in a match, and for the most part this match was kind of terrible. This explains why there's a Twin Twisters in my hand. But this replay just single-handedly shows you exactly how this deck wants to operate. So, this hand sucks, so you just pass. Worst they can do... Well, I knew he couldn't OTK me, so I just didn't care. Because he's playing Evil Eye, he can get big number on board, but you can't really, like, do anything too insane. In this case, he made a pretty good Link guy. He made this guy, so I was like, nah, I don't feel like dying. And then, of course, to start my turn, get rid of the back row. Make the Relinquish guy because he happened to put something in the column. The Relinquish Anima can then proceed to steal his card, to which I did. Then I kaiju'd him, played Ameba, creature swapped, burned him for 2,000, go into battle phase, and then hit him for game. That almost will never happen, but when it does happen, you feel awesome. Because trust me, I did. That's the only reason I'm showing you that replay. Now, on to an actual, like, full-on match. Here's kind of what you're likely to expect. I went against Drytron, best deck in the format. Guy apparently bricked, couldn't do anything. I played this, and played the game of I don't care. So, just kind of kept not trying. For some ungodly reason, he decided to hard summon the Vanity's Ruler. I'm like, okay. Summon a no guy. Quito swap. Punch. For big number. Pass. And then he goes to Chalice. And then starts, doing Drytron things. Summoning guys. And then realizing Mystic Mine makes it where he can't do anything. So he just concedes. So I'm like, cool. Go to game 2. He goes, I'm like, no. Tries to do stuff. Proceeds to just end on the Link Karibo. My hand really sucks. So I just set some back row and pass. He then proceeds to go to playing. Starts doing Drytron stuff. Generate infinite pluses. I try to interrupt him with the Dogmatic of Punishment. And the Intis. But unbeknownst to me, this is about to be very not fun. Because then he goes into that with a monster on board this time. Hits me for some damage. I draw for turn. I try to bait that out. But then he adds more fairies. I try to bait it out again. I summon this. I try one last time. He says no. And at this point, I'm like, well, he doesn't have a lot of things on board, so maybe... yeah. I am not very smart. Let's be fucking real here. He is about to show me exactly what happens when you think you can do something, but you can't. And then he punches me. I draw for turn. Decide to play my card. Draw. Get my thing. Get rid of his thingy. Get some kaijus on board. His Dawn Knight does that. I'm thinking, oh, cool. I'm in a good position. There is no way I could possibly... Oh. The irony is I lost via burn damage. Oh, buddy. Well, that wasn't cool. So game 3. Let's go. My hand kind of sucks. So I do that. Try to draw a floodgate or something. Get 1 interruption. Well, let's see how good 1 interruption does you against best deck of the format. Drytron, do Drytron stuff. Drytron force my back row. I'll pop his Drytron guy. I intis his field spell. He goes, well, that's cool. I don't care, because I'm going to keep doing Drytron stuff. Keep going. Uses his normal summon on not the vanities. Makes his negate. Punches for big number. I'm like, cool. Creature swap. Burn you. He tributes for some reason. I play that because I'm scared. And he ends up playing around it. Kind of. I know he plays around it. Oh yeah, Unicorn. Because extra deck strong. He dang steals my kaiju, which the irony of this match is killing me, literally, because he beat me by burn damage, and now he beat me by stealing my monster. So yeah, I kind of deserve that. Alright. I think I'll show you one more match where I went against the other irony, some Tri-Brigades. But this is a cool version. Why? Because it's using Ancient Warriors, which is a deck I inevitably do plan on putting together. Mostly whenever I decide to find a build that I like. So yeah, he starts out doing Tri-Brigade things. Summons the Fractal, gets Bird, ends on that, and then I'm like, well, can I do anything? I, for some reason, do not take the Wind Barrier statue. I think it's because at the time I thought I could use the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber because I play a Wind. Apparently, no. Konami's like, nah. So, like an idiot, I'm likely to sit here with this game and just draw pass, and draw pass. If I think I can remember this match, I think I just made a host of like terrible play choices. Oh, and I was testing out Kinkaboyo's, like all this other stuff. Discard the Ameba because I can revive it with the Boyo. Just sit here and keep drawing, keep passing, keep hating my life, because now I have to dig for this big Mothra guy so I can get around this annoying barrier statue that I use on people, and I'm realizing that I really, really messed up. So I finally get around the barrier statue. I go with the Boyo, I summon the big kaiju, I proceed to battle. Monster reborn, the barrier statue to be cheeky on him. Bounce the Boyo back to my hand. Sit behind my spell mining cave. Like an idiot, I summon a monster. And don't have complete, game on board. So then this guy, he's digging for stuff. Doing plays that I'm not 100% sure on. Then I draw for turn. Set a card. Finally draw the creature swap. Get the Boyo. He bounces back my kaiju. My creature swap. And burn him for game. Like a jerk. Alright. Game 2. I think he goes first again. Does Tri-Brigade things. Disparities to search through his deck. Gets the out for the spell mining cave. Proceeds to do some really cool plays by cheating out the bird. And then getting a negate. And then I'm like, oh, I'm in a very not good position. Because he just keeps generating advantage off the big Cymorg. And I go to try, but realize I can't do anything. I can't target them. I can't resolve my punishment. So I just concede. Game 3. I think this might have been a really long one, kind of like the first match. So I just set some back row I was trying. He judgments, or he tries to heartbeat, I judgment. He then starts actually playing Ancient Warrior cards. So then I use my punishment on his stuff. Kinda whiffed that turn. I play the Spell Mining Cave and then proceed to hide like a little pansy. So then we're in the wonderful game of just waiting. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. Maybe one day something will happen, but right now this is not that day. So then he top decks the out to my cave. Starts doing his plays, gets the advantage off, the Tri-Brigade package. I'm like, nope. Makes Ancient Warrior guy. Makes Cymorg. Gets chicken. So I'm like, get rid of that. Get rid of the whole field. Now I'm going to pause this because I knew he was playing the Wind Barrier statue, and in this particular build that I was testing at the time, I played one Gandharla. Be prepared to see how stupid I am for doing this. So he starts doing some Ancient Warrior stuff, summons this big guy that is really good, but I have a Battle Fader. So I'm like, okay. Maybe, just maybe, I can draw another kaiju or something. Well, no. Doesn't matter. He just gets the barrier statue. And all my hopes and dreams were lost. I didn't realize that guy pops a monster quick effect. And I stupidly enough got rid of the one wind kaiju to out the barrier statue. So yeah, I lost that. So yeah, there we go. Ameba. Yet another deck you can play to lose friends in Yu-Gi-Oh! But whilst it's not the most consistent deck, it's a very gratifying deck. And you know what? We all need to be gratified here and there. So yeah. If you like what you see, remember to like, favorite, comment, all that shenanigans. And if you want to make your locals mad, try doing this better. I would love to see somebody take this to the next level. So yeah. This is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing out.